and you're going to go to your video section. You're going to put today's date, 8/24/20, and then the title of this video is Fractions to Decimals. We're going to be converting fractions to decimals. Now we're going to use the cowboy on the horse shortcut. So the first thing that we're going to do is rewrite our fraction and make it a cowboy and a horse. So we're going to think of the cowboy as a rodeo rider. Kind of a cowboy hat there. And then we're going to make the denominator his horse. Now, why do we use cowboy and the horse? Because that helps us to know which number goes underneath the divider symbol. So the cowboy goes into the church and sits down next to two praying people. Notice I have my decimal, and my horse stays outside. So cowboy and the horse reminds me that the numerator is going to go inside the divisor sign, and the denominator is going to stay outside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my decimal up to my answer, and I'm going to do 8 goes into 1 0 times. 8 goes into 10 2 times. Goes into 10 once. Take our 8, subtract 2, and then we bring down our 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times. Make sure we line up our numbers. So our 1 is above the first 0, our 2 is above the second 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract. I don't have 0, so I'm going to need to add another 0. Bring it down. So now I have 8 goes into 40 5 times. And now my remainder is 0, so I'm done. So my answer is going to be 0.125. Now, I can take my graphing calculator, go over here to calculate, and I'm going to check it. So I'm going to do Control, Divide, 1, arrow down, 8, Control, Enter, and I see that the answer on the calculator matches my answer, so I know I'm correct. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So the next one that I have is going to be -2 3/5. Now, since I have a whole number here, I don't have to do anything to the whole number. I don't have to convert the whole number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and in my answer, I'm going to go ahead and put -2 decimal. Because I have half my answer right now, the whole number stays the same. Now all I'm going to do is use my cowboy on the horse shortcut for 3/5. So I'm going to take 3/5. I'm going to make this into my cowboy. There's his rodeo number on his shirt, face, cowboy hat, and then I have his horse. And that reminds me that when I set up my problem, my 3 is going to go inside the church. So the cowboy goes inside the church. You would never put the horse inside the church. That helps me to know which number goes underneath the dividing symbol. And now my horse stays outside. I take my decimal, put it up on the top, and I do 5 goes into 3, 0 times. 5 goes into 30, 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30, 0. So I don't need to bring down or use my extra praying person. I already have 0 for my remainder. So I'm going to take the 6 and add that to my answer. Now I'm going to go check. I don't have to check the whole number because the whole number stays the same. All I need to do is check the decimal. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come over here and I'm going to check the 3/5. So I'm going to do Control, Divide, 3 divided by 5, Control, enter. And I have the 0.6. So I know now that my answer is correct. Now, yes, you realize that you can do the whole problem on the calculator, but if you want full credit, you need to show your work so that I know that you know how to do it at this step without the calculator and you know how to check it with the calculator. All right, so let's go ahead and do number 3. Again, number 3 is the same situation. I have a whole number. So I'm going to come over here in my answer box and I'm going to go ahead and put 4 decimal because the whole number is going to stay the same and it's in front of the decimal showing that it's a whole number. The numbers behind the decimal are not whole numbers, they're fractions. Here's our fraction. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and rewrite. So we have the 5/6. We put the 5 on the cowboy shirt. And now I'm going to make the 6 his horse. And I'm going to draw my church. So the cowboy goes inside the church, sits down next to 2 praying people. And I'm going to go ahead and put my 6 or the horse outside. I'm going to put my decimal up in my answer and I'm ready to begin. So 6 goes into 5 0 times. 6 goes into 50 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract. Bring down. 6 goes into 20 8 times. Nope, sorry. 6 goes into 23 times. 3 times 6 is 18. Subtract. I don't have a remainder of 0, so I need to keep dropping my 0 until I can get a remainder of 0. 6 goes into 23 times. Now, we see that this is going to just repeat. So my answer is going to be 4.83 with the repeating line only over the 3. I can't write the repeating line over the 83 because that would mean 83, 83, 83. But the 8 is not repeating. So the repeating line goes over the 3. Now, how do I check it? I go over my calculator. I don't have to put the 4 in because it's the whole number. I'm going to do Control, Divide, 5, arrow down, 6, Control, Enter. And sure enough, there's my repeating 3. And now you know how to convert fractions to decimals.